Hello and welcome to the Cousins Football Fix podcast. Wherever you're listening, whatever time, this is always a podcast to be listening to. My name's Jack and I'm joined by Christopher. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Jack. How are you today?
I'm alright, thank you. I'm a bit tired, a bit hungry, but it's alright.
Good.
So today we'll be talking about Liverpool's start to the Premier League and how good they've been under their new manager since Klopp's left. Do we think we're going to win the league, or do we think they're going to come just get wiped out by City or Arsenal? And then City's form as well is something we're going to be talking about.
As well as talking about the up-and-coming England internationals and the England squad that has been announced. So, starting with Liverpool, Jack. Liverpool's made a really good start to the season. They've won 15 out of the 17 opening games. That obviously includes the EFL Cup and Champions League games that they have played, only losing to Nottingham Forest and drawing to Arsenal in the process. How do you think their season is going so far, Jack?
Well, I mean, it's going really well. I mean, looking back at when Klopp was there, the team was there, so they've got the team to... They have got a Premier League winning team and a Champions League winning side as well. So this new manager, yes, is doing brilliantly, but the players are still there. And I think they're going to win the league again.
Yeah, they brought no new players in over the summer. They struggled to bring in new players. I think you could say that. Yeah, same squad, same set of players, slightly different way of playing, I think, Slotties to Klopp. I think it's not much difference, but slightly different. I think he goes a bit more direct every now and then when they're struggling. But yeah, I think... You look at the stats so far, they've scored 39 goals, they've conceded 13, and 9 of them have been clean sheets out of the 17 games they've played. So it's been a good start all round. I think they're pushing on. Who's been a standout player for you, Jack, this season?
I think Salah's been a standout player. I mean, he's got 10 goals and 10 assists so far. I mean, that's amazing for any player. And I think Diaz with 9 goals and 2 assists, you've got upcoming players. Well, they're not upcoming, they're already there. They're some of the best players in the world. And it's, if you're going to be a Liverpool fan, then you want them on your side, and it clearly shows with how they've been at the start of the season.
Yeah, I think you've also got Cody Gakpo with 6 goals and 2 assists as well for himself. They're mainly slots front three, I'd say. Salah, Diaz and Gakpo. Núñez is struggling to get in. For me, he's not a quality striker at all. I think he struggles in front of goal. I do think probably in the summer they'll probably look for another striker. Obviously, we spoke about last week Liverpool's contract situation. Salah there with 10 goals, 10 assists will be a big loss. How do you replace that in the current market, Jack?
Well, that's it. You can't replace that. He's been there for such a long time now. He's pretty much Mr. Liverpool, and he can't really replace. They can try and bring someone in, but it's going to take him a while to get into that squad. However, with the players that they will have around them, I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to get the same kind of mark after a season or two. That's if they're there long enough.
Yeah, and obviously Trent got injured at the weekend. Came off with a hamstring injury. Yeah, that's a big loss, I suppose, the way that they play. Can they keep it going? Yeah, I think they can. I know Alisson's out injured, so they've got Gallagher involved, who's late at the minute performed quite well.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows that they do have backups. I mean, obviously with Alisson being the number one, he starts 99.999% of the games. So it just shows that they do have that backups, and they do have the players to step forward and go, I could take on the role and do it just as good, if not better.
Yeah, I do believe Liverpool could go close. We'll have to wait till after Christmas and into the new year to see how they fare. Christmas is a tricky time for all clubs, but I do think if they've got a lead over City and Arsenal coming into the final stretch, yeah, they could do it. it obviously depends on injuries and players in form and all that kind of thing. Talking about form, Jack, what do you think about Man City of late?
Oh, Man City, well, the first time that for a long time, that they lost 4 games in a row. I mean, they've lost 3 times in the Premier League, one of them... Sorry, I meant they've lost twice in the Premier League. They've lost once against Tottenham in the Cup, and they lost against Sporting 4-1. But it just shows that that's their away form. They haven't... The last game they played at home was on the 26th of October, and they beat Southampton 1-0, and a club like Man City, especially at home, has got to be doing more than a 1-0 win against Southampton.
Yeah, it's the first time they've lost 4 games in all competitions, like you said, Jack, for 18 years. That was 2016. Pep has never lost 4 games in a row in his career. I do wonder how Pep is feeling right now. He's feeling a bit fragile. But he's a quality manager, so he must come out of it better the other side. He must have a plan, a way of coming around it. Yes, they've had a lot of injuries and they've got players coming back, but is that really going to help them in the long run? Maybe. We don't know yet. The biggest injury that they've had so far is Rodri, who's out for the season, unfortunately, and he is their key player, isn't he, Jack?
Yeah, he is a brilliant player, and he's just shown it as well. He's shown it last season, and he's shown it before at other teams when he was coming up through the ranks, and he is such a key player to Man City, and he will be missing Pep's squad. Yeah, really. He's also won the Ballon d'Or as well this year, so he is a world class player, and he's with winning the Ballon d'Or. He is noticed as that, and Pep's going to be missing him. They've also got Stones is out. He's currently sidelined with a foot injury. Diaz is out. Grealish is out. Doku's out. So it's some of them are only out for a couple of weeks or a couple more days left. Like Grealish comes back supposedly the end of this month, but it's just one of them where, unlike Liverpool with the likes of Alisson, they have a keeper to come straight in and do the same job as him. Whereas what City got, and it's showing that they're not performing as well with their key players out.
Yeah, I think as well, Oscar Bob is a big loss for him. He played a lot of pre-season. He broke his leg, unfortunately, and he was a key part of the way City was playing in pre-season. Talked about injuries, De Bruyne has been out a lot again. He also makes City click. So yeah, you've got Aki's been out, he's coming back. They've got some players coming back from injury. But then you look at the goals that they've scored, and it's really, really bad for a team of City's quality. Haaland has 12 goals in the league, but the next best player with goals is Kovacic with 3. Guardiola's got 3. Stones 2. Doku 1. De Bruyne 1. That's it. No one else in that team can score goals. Now, my question to you, Jack, is: in the summer they sold Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid.
Yes, correct.
And last season he was the backup striker to Haaland. So if Haaland was on a off day and wasn't performing, he'd switch it, or Alvarez would start just behind him, and it'd give him that bit of extra oomph forward and getting goals. Do you think City have made their life a bit harder by selling players like Julian Alvarez and not having a big enough squad to deal with injuries or have enough quality?
Yeah, I feel like they have butchered themselves there, because they're just relying on Haaland. Haaland is Man City. And it shows with the goals that have been scored. 12 goals in the league, and then you got Kovacic in with 3. So it's showing they are just relying on Haaland. Now, if they're playing Tottenham at the weekend, not on the weekend, in a couple, when the Premier League's back on, someone from Tottenham goes out and breaks his ankles, they've got no one to replace Haaland, and then they're going to be stuck with scoring no goals or just trying to get 1-0 wins.
Yeah, when you look at their squad, Jack, 9 of their players are over the age of 30. Now, I wouldn't have thought that, to be honest, City's squad being so old. And then there's 15 of them over the age of 25. That's 6 other players under the age of 30, but are over the age of 25. This squad is on the older age of the squad balance, you could say. Now, if you look at someone like Chelsea, probably have brought a lot of younger players, so their squad is younger. Our City now getting to a point where their squad is at breaking point, where they've got a lot of older players, but they're going to have to go out and try and recruit a lot of younger players to balance their squad out.
Yeah, I mean, when you get in players over the age of 30 and 25, they start to pick up nicks easier. Their fitness starts to drop. So you are losing the ability there in players. And some players might just think, you know what, we've won the league a handful of times, we've won the Champions League, I'm going to call it there, and I'm going to boots up, and then Pep's got no one to bring in. The scouting squad has to be out there looking for them young players to bring in the next future talent, the next Ballon d'Or winner, and they're just not doing that, and it shows by the age of the squad.
Yeah, my question to you, Jack, is do you think Pep has lost his touch, or is it just a blip with injuries?
I think it's a blip, a very big blip. I think Pep has relied on the same starting 11 for so long now, and he's just had no one to back up injuries or anything like that. So I think he shot himself in the foot just relying on certain players, and obviously your main key players are out, and that stuffed him really. I think December coming back into January, I think City might start being a world-class team again when some of the players come back from injuries.
Bearing in mind, Jack, they are only 5 points, I believe, behind Liverpool, if I'm not wrong. Yep, 5 points behind them. So it's not a massive gap. It's only 2 wins. But can you see Liverpool dropping 6 points and City picking up the 6 points to make the difference at the minute?
No, to be honest, I can't. It's going to be the only way Liverpool's going to drop 6 points is when they're playing the bogey teams. But it showed when they played Palace a couple of weeks ago that their teams that were bogey teams are no longer bogey teams, and they're such more strengthened squad. I mean, City, until them injuries, they come back from the injuries, they're going to be dropping points left, right, and centre.
Bearing in mind, Liverpool have still got to play City twice, so that could be City's way of making up the difference. But I'm not sure when them games are. It's hit or miss at the minute. I do think City are missing their players, but you know, all teams have their injuries. Look at United last year; they had a massive injury crisis, and look where they finished. City aren't going to finish there. There's no chance. They'll definitely get top 3, I'd say. If Arsenal can get their injuries back and start playing again, Arsenal could challenge. But I'd say the top 3 will be Liverpool, City and Arsenal within that order then 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at last season. 1 point between City and Arsenal, and City won the league. They are a challenger side for City, and it just showed when Arsenal started, instead of winning and getting the 3 points, they was getting the draws or whatnot last season. It just shows that points do matter. With City being 6 points down, and we're not even halfway through the season yet, I think it's going to be difficult for them to get them back.
Talking about injuries, let's move on to the England squad and the squad that was announced. So I'm going to read to you, Jack, the squad that was announced, and then I'll tell you which players have unfortunately been withdrawn due to injury. So for goalkeepers, we've got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale, with Aaron Ramsdale being withdrawn. Any thoughts on them 3?
I think Pickford's getting old now. I think he's had his time. Yes, he played brilliantly in the World Cup, but I just think his time's up. Bring someone new in that can get into that England squad and can be, can be more energetic in a way. They can bring more to the squad. Yes, Pickford, he leads from the back, he leads from his net, and he is an amazing goalkeeper. However, I just think his time's up, and it's showing in recent games. Like when we played Greece, lost to Greece. I think we drew against Iceland. I don't think we won it. But I just think it's going to be difficult for Pickford to compete with the younger goalkeepers in the international games.
So for defenders, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Colwell, Gay, Hull, Harwood Bellis, Konza, Rico Lewis and Kyle Walker, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Levi Colwell being withdrawn due to injury. Lewis Hall and Taylor Harwood Bellis is their first international call-up for the main squad. They could make their international debuts. We'll have to wait to see. Defence for me is very weak for England as of past few years. We've got abundance of decent attacking players. I think we are struggling for defence, and especially now we've got Trent and Colwell missing out. I do think it's a big loss, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, Trent is a world class player. He's amazing on and off the pitch. His club and country, that man is obviously he's been at Liverpool since the start of his career, and I think he is just one that would do anything for his club and he would do anything for his country, and I think he's going to be quite down not being in the England call-up.
Yeah, I do as well. I think he could class him as Mr. England, maybe, especially out of the defenders in the back. I think he gets unworthy stick due to the way he plays, and especially during the summer in the Euros, the way he played in midfield. I don't think it's his best position. When we saw him at right back, it was a lot better. So midfield is Jack. We have got Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher, Gibbs White, Angel Gomez, Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice. But unfortunately, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer and Declan Rice have all been withdrawn from the squad. They're big losses, I think, especially to England. Cole Palmer, probably the best player in the league, behind Salah, I'd have to say. Phil Foden on his day is just memorising. He's brilliant. He's not really found that form for England, but you never know. The odd game now and then he does perform well. And Declan Rice is that midfield stalwart that has played pretty much every game for England over the past few years.
Yeah, it is very upsetting to see Palmer and Foden out. Rice, I think since he's gone to Arsenal, I don't think he's played the best he can. So I don't really rate him in the England squad anyway. I think he's ball greedy, or he's either ball greedy or he's scared of the ball. He's never in between. Morgan Gibbs White is probably one of the best midfielders that we have in the squad underneath Bellingham. So I think, yeah, midfield has got to be Bellingham, Gibbs White and Curtis Jones, and probably Conor Gallagher. I don't see where Gomez really fits in that squad. And say we pick up 2 injuries in our first game, what we're going to do, we're going to bring a striker, come back, we're going to get a defender like Trent to come up. What's going to happen there?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really. I think the squad as a whole, I'll get onto forwards in a minute, is a lot of uncapped or lower capped players. So like players that have got less than 10 caps. It's a young squad, but England have got a lot of young players. Looking in the forwards, there's Anthony Gordon, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Mudoraki, Saka, Solanke and Ollie Watkins, with Jack Grealish and Saka being withdrawn due to injury. I think, really, Solanke, he scored 2 goals against Villa. He hasn't really played that well, but it just shows you how light we are for out-and-out strikers, that we've only got Kane, Solanke and Watkins. Watkins hasn't really hit the heights that he did last season for me yet. I don't know whether it's because he's had a long summer and not really had much rest. I'm not too sure. Gordon has been out at Newcastle's one of their best players again, beginning of the season. Hopefully I can see more of him in an England shirt, because I've quite enjoyed watching him in an England shirt. He's a bit different out on the left and offers a bit different. And Madueke for Chelsea has just played well, been given the chance there, and it's earned his England call up quite well.
Yeah, I think one of the players that is expected in that squad is Harry Kane. And since he's gone to the BBC and just basically slagged everybody off in the England squad, I would like to see if he does start or if he doesn't, because if I was, what's his name, Thomas Tuchel, whenever, does he come in? Yeah, he comes in. No, he comes in January. So I would be, yeah, so I would be saying, if I was Lee Carsley, I would have just turned around and gone, look, he slagged us off. It's going to lose faith and friendships and in the team. I'm going to drop you.
Yeah, reading that article, Jack, that I have, Kane's criticised the players' decision, stating that England should be a top priority for professional footballers, and he's disappointed with some of them. Some of the players' commitment to the national team seemed to have waned since during this international break. England do face crucial matches against Greece and the Republic of Ireland in the coming days, needing victories in both games to secure promotion back to League A of the UEFA Nations League. But even if we win both games, we do need Finland to do us a favour. Finland need to beat Greece on Sunday when we play Ireland. Finland are yet to win a game this group stage. What do you think the chances are, Jack, of Finland doing England a favour by beating Greece on Sunday?
Not going to happen. I mean, Greece are 4 for 4. I mean, they're absolutely stomping that group stage. It's amazing. It's a team in there. You would think England would have absolutely stomped it in. Maybe Ireland coming in underneath them, but Greece, it's for them as a nation, as an international team, that is absolutely amazing. And then they're going to get promotion into Group A, and that's where they start to prove themselves that they can be an international team that can contend with some of the top, well, the top teams in Europe, and then maybe go on to, in the World Cup when it comes about, to be like, right, we've played you guys, we've beat you 1-0, we've changed some things, and we're going to go beat you 4-0. I think they're going to be quite a surprise in the upcoming in couple of years, seeing them progress, and they do have quality players, and most of them are young as well, so they've got that youngness on the side.
Yeah, so with the players that have been withdrawn, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Leroy Colwill, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Cole Palmer, Aaron Ramsdale, Declan Rice and Saka are all unavailable due to injuries. So England have called up Morgan Rogers for his first senior call-up. Jarrod Bowen and Braithwaite have also been called up, as well as the uncapped pair of Livramento and James Trafford have been called up to Lee Carsley's squad as replacements. Now, for me, James Trafford, decent keeper, won the Under-21s European Championship with Carsley, left City last season to move to Burnley, didn't work out that well, Burnley obviously got relegated. Livramento is from Newcastle, he's been playing a few games out on the right hand side, as he's probably a replacement for Trent, I would probably have said. You've got Braithwaite called up, probably the replacement for Colwill, because Colwill's left-footed, so it's Braithwaite. Rogers is an attacking midfielder who's played pretty much every game for Aston Villa this season and has impressed. So he's going to be the replacement for Foden, as well as Barron, will be the replacement for Grealish. It's not a fully 23-man squad, I don't think, with the numbers coming in isn't quite as many that have left. No, there's only 5 players that have been rejoined the squad, with 8 leaving, so it's probably a 20-man squad. Can that 20-man squad do the job over 2 games? I'd like to think so. England are obviously the stronger team. Greece has done well. They shocked England the other month. But I do think England have got the upper hand. I want your opinion, Jack, of what kind of job you think Lee Carter has done as England manager. He's obviously lost a game, but won 3 in his 4 games so far. He's got the last 2 games before Thomas Tuchel, you said, takes over in January, which I am quite looking forward to.
Nah, don't get me wrong. I just think a German being an English manager is right. Obviously, past football history and past, let's say, political exchanges. I don't want him here, but I'll see what he can do. And I think Lee's job has been absolutely amazing. As is pretty much, he is the caretaker manager, and he's done an amazing job. But I don't think he's good enough to play teams like Portugal, Spain, France, Argentina when it comes into other competitions. However, I feel like playing these squads he has, he's pretty much played the same squads in the past couple of years with the under-21 teams, and he is England through and through, even though he's a Welshman. He's Welsh or Irish. He's not English, Irish. That's it. He is England through and through. I do then also feel that he does want to just go back to the under-21 squad, and he's even said that in past interviews before. But fair play to the man, he's took over the nation's international squad, and he has done well.
Yeah, for me, I'm quite happy to see Thomas Tuchel take over. Looking out at other managers, there's no English coach out there that could take the job. Eddie Howe, to me, isn't good enough yet. Graham Potter isn't good enough yet. The young coaches still need time in the game.
Bring back Big Sam.
Then you look out at other coaches and what's out there. Klopp was taken up by the Red Bull Group. He's gone to do whatever he's gone to do there. I think he's head of soccer. So that tells you where his head is at after needing a break from Liverpool. The ideal candidate for me would have been Pep. You couldn't really get Pep out of City. Thomas Tuchel won Champions Leagues, won leagues. He knows, been in the Premier League, so he's got English football experience. So I'm quite happy with it, to be fair. I'm quite happy. Should never really have been sacked from Chelsea, but that's Chelsea for you. So then, Jack, after talking about England, do you want to talk about the past weekend's Premier League action?
Yeah, so it's been expected, let's say, in the results over the weekend. I mean, Fulham defeated Crystal Palace away 2-0. What a decent win for them. But then, once again, it's 2 teams at the bottom of the table, well, around about there. West Ham, Everton 0-0. Wolves, wow. First win of the season at home, 2-0 against Southampton. But it's Southampton, ain't it? So that's expected. I mean, Brentford, what a game that was. 3-2 at home against Bournemouth. Man City lost away at Brighton, 2-1. Liverpool, as expected, won 2-0. United, Leicester, 3-0 at home. What a win for United. Now, this was unexpected for me. Forest lost 3-1 against Newcastle, with them being on the road. And I tell you what, they lit up the city, Newcastle did. I mean, we live in a little town just outside of the city, and I went to a pub and one of their coaches was parked out back.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that was in the Oak.
Oh, nice.
So it was full of Newcastle fans, which I find out they do every year.
Oh, very nice.
Tottenham Hotspur had their upset at home, losing 2-1 to Ipswich Town. And then the big game of the weekend, Chelsea and Arsenal 1-1. I think that game there would have been interesting to see how it could have gone if certain decisions wasn't made. However, I do believe that a point for both teams is good, but I would have preferred Arsenal to have the win.
Yeah, there's some two shock results in the Ipswich picking up the win against Spurs and Brighton picking up the win against City. Did you see the Brighton City game? Once again, it was instant copy off the Sporting game. City was all over them in the first half, completely run right over them, and then second half, Brighton made a change at half time, and it was brilliant. That's what happened at Sporting in the Champions League. City was all over him in the first half. Sporting came out, and obviously they scored 2 quick goals then, but Brighton scored 2 latish goals. Drove João Pedro coming back from injury. I do think now the league's warming up a bit, especially with all teams picking up a result. I think, every team has won a game this season. I do think Wolves will get out of the relegation zone pretty quick. They've got quite a few nice fixtures coming up. I know that due to FPL. For me, Southampton are dead and buried. They don't offer anything. For me,
get back to the Championship.
It's their worst ever start to a league campaign. Ipswich has done well. They've been unlucky. They've got 5 draws.
That is a big result for Ipswich, though, just coming into the league. And I would take, as Notts fans, if we ever went up to... If we go up to League One and 11 games in, we've won 1, drew 5, I'd be pretty happy with that and probably stay there for a bit of a season, half a season, play all those teams and then go for it and stay there for a couple of seasons and hopefully go to win the league to go up to the Championship.
Yeah, I do think 2 teams are in a nosebleed at the minute for being so high. As you could say, it's obviously Forest losing and Fulham. I have seen quite a bit of Fulham this year. They do play good football. It is a bit hit and miss, depending on who they're playing. But they do play good, attractive football. I think Marcus over there has got a young, hungry squad with him. And they've performed well. Tottenham are obviously struggling. They're mid-table. But Man United, picking up the result, drags them further up the table. It leaves them 4 points behind 5th to get in that European place. I think now their new manager is taking over. They've got a chance of climbing that league pretty well. Who do you think is the real team, Jack, that is in dire strengths and have a risk of going down?
Have a risk of going down. Well, where do we start? You're looking at that. Everton, I mean, going off the last season, they played so well, especially with that point deduction that they had. They got out of that relegation battle so quick. It's sad to see them down there with only 2 wins in the season. However, I do believe they might turn it around. It'd be sad to see them go with Leicester. I've got a feeling they'll go down on West Ham. They're not dangerously close on points. Pardon me. But I do think they could go down. But once again, there's only 11 games been played, so you can't really predict at the minute.
Would you like a little wager, Jack, over the next 2 weeks during the international break?
What's that?
I think West Ham's manager is going to get sacked. Because the way they're playing is terrible. Yes, they've got 3 wins and 3 draws. I think they thought Locatelli would have come in and changed the club to what Moyes had playing. I just don't think it's worked. They've brought a lot of players in, spent a lot of money as well. I just think he'll lose his job over the international period.
I just don't think he's been there long enough, to be fair. Obviously, as a manager, you should go in and build strengths with your squad. I just think he's still experimenting, and I think they'll give him till January to sort his stuff out or pack his bag. So I don't believe he'll go as soon, but I do think halfway through the season, start of 2025, he will be told to depart from the club.
So then, Jack, we're up. Would you like to talk about our team for a bit? We've got a bit of time to talk about it. So we both went to Doncaster at the weekend. I do believe Doncaster at the weekend was a good game. We played really well. The result was 1-1. Did we deserve the win? Yeah.
Yes.
I think online, I've seen our goal quite a few times. Been bantered around by a lot of journalists as proper football for League Two. And it's the kind of goal you wouldn't expect to see in League Two. But yeah, 1-1 against a good Doncaster team. They were a good team. Don't get me wrong, they were a good team. What was your thoughts on the game?
We got robbed. We're sat there. I'll tell you the story. 93rd minute-ish, wasn't it? A beautiful pass through the defence. Onside, by the way. Onside. Ran with the ball through the defence. Got to it. One-on-one with the keeper, pretty much. Referee blows a whistle. Why? Because of a foul. That never happened. So I believe we did get robbed. But to be fair, because nothing happened, I actually thought he blew for full time. And I was fuming. Their goal that we conceded, I think we could have stopped that. We could have stopped that way before it proceeded through the midfield. Yeah,
it's a good point. It keeps our unbeaten away record going. The only team in the EFL with an unbeaten record. The other two teams in the old pyramid of the Football League and the Premier League is Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. They're unbeaten away. So both teams in Nottingham doing well away from home, even though Forest aren't in the city, but we won't get into that.
Yeah. Can't he? Scum. Get on your own side of the river.
I watched last night's game for Notts were the under-21s against Leicester in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy tournament thing that I don't agree with. It's horrible. Notts got knocked out, Jack, on 6 points because Burton won 5-2 at Northampton, which means all teams had 6 points. The top three, Notts, Northampton and Burton. Notts got knocked out on goal difference. My question to you, are we missing a striker up front because we're not scoring the amount of goals that we should?
Oh, there should be like a video recording on this because I've just got hyped up because this is all I was going on about Saturday, wasn't it? It was absolutely crazy. I mean, Jatta, yes, he's a good striker. However, seen better. He's only there for an aerial threat. Then behind him, we had Sam Austin. Useless. Like, is that rubbish? His airline's even trying to run away from him.
He nearly scored, Jack. He came off his chest and he nearly scored. That's the only thing I saw him do the whole game.
Yeah, I don't get why he went for his chest. He could have at least... He could have just let the ball drop to his feet. It was dropping.
I think he misjudged the bounce and then couldn't get to it with his head or his foot. I think that's what happened. And he just collided with the ball.
It was like he got pushed into it, wasn't it? It was so dramatic as well. And we've got Dizzy. Oh, a beautiful player. Amazing. I mean, he's that skillful. Even his head brights up at night with the spotlights. He's an amazing player. But he's old. Like, he was playing football before I was even born professionally, right? And he just hasn't got the fitness to keep up with the younger players. He hasn't got the fitness to run with the ball as much. You look at his goals, especially recently. He's just been stood on the edge of the box, and he's done something with his feet, and he's turned a defender, and he's scored. He is a brilliant player like that, but if he's trying to run through the defence, run down the wing, he's not physically there. Jatta, he's only there for the aerial perspective, and half the time he misses it with his head somehow. I do believe we are in dire need of a striker. I mean, I think Jatta was a panic buy when we lost Macaulay.
Well, he was signed in Jan, wasn't he? So I think he was signed as a replacement for Macaulay, I do believe. It's odd, it's different. can they change it? I don't know. We've also got Scott back. He scored again last night. Well, scored his first goal last night of the season, which was a nice goal. A really nice goal. Well worked. And we did well. I just think if we'd not got rid of Macaulay just to sit on Millwall's bench, unfortunately he's not getting the game time there, which he deserves, but we can't see behind the scenes on how he's training at Millwall. Yeah. We just know the prolific striker we've got. I've got a bit for you, Jack, here about Alexander Jota and how much he's played a huge part of not success this season. I sent it you in the week.
You know what?
Sorry?
I've seen it come through and I still don't think I've clicked on it.
What a surprise. So, he's played 11 games and got 7 goals, which is a good ratio. 2 assists. He's created 9 chances. His pass percentage is 80.9. Fouls won is 8, which I don't know how it's so low, because he gets fouled so many times. One of Doncaster's defenders this weekend was literally man-marking him and holding him all game.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. He had sometimes he had 2 players on him. He just couldn't get the touch of the ball, and I think he was so lucky that the goal he had, that the assist just fell to him so well.
And then Jules for this season he's had 113, but only 143, which to me isn't a bad ratio when you're up front on your own, and like sadly you had 2 defenders with you. So if teams are pinning 2 players on you, they obviously see you as a massive threat, and it's a bit hard to win your duels that way. He's had 15 shots on target with 12 dribbles, aerial duels of 68, and he's won 25 of them. So looking at them stats, he's been on fire so far this season, wouldn't you say, Jack?
Yeah, I think just the aerial duels won compared to the duels he's had just shows the point of he isn't the best in the air, even though he's got his height, and I just feel like he should be doing better for his height.
Yeah, he's also unfortunately going to be missing the next week and a half. He's been called up to the Gambia squad. I have looked on FootMob to follow Gambia. Have you, Jack?
Let the record show that I have not, because I'll be following the England squad. And even though Alison Jatta is an amazing player, Gambia aren't in my interest at the minute.
I just want to see if he plays and gets many minutes, to be fair. Hopefully he does. But then I don't want him to get injured, because I don't know what Knots are going to do.
I think... Here's a question then. Crew away Saturday. Win or lose?
Crew, good team. Very good team. I think they're the bottom half of the league.
Yeah, they was going to go up. They went to Wembley, didn't they?
Yeah, they got to playoffs. Lost to Crawley. I still think they've got a good few players. I don't think we score enough goals. So I think if we concede 1, I could see a draw or nickel it 2-1. Bearing in mind last night's game, Jack, no first team players played, pretty much. You already had Lucas Ness play, really. Rod McDonald as well as Scott. But that was mainly for minutes after injuries. The rest of the team, other than Slocum in goal, who isn't going to play at the weekend, he's got no chance of playing.
Useless.
It was kids. And I think for the final whistle, there was literally just Slocum on the pitch that wasn't under the age of 21, maybe 20. I'm very encouraged to see Jack, our youngsters come through. And they've played a big part this season. They've played all 3 trophy tournament games.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing well in the tournament. I mean, look at it when we was against Burton. I remember I was on the phone to you one time. I was like, yeah, we're not going to win this. And look at it, we went on
2-1, I think.
2-1, yeah. But with going to Crew and missing out Jatta, I think what's going to happen, because obviously Crowley didn't play at the weekend.
No.
And we made no substitutions. Yeah, we probably trying to rest them. But we did have a midweek game, and We could have brought somebody on the 21s through away with us on the road and used them as subs just for fresh legs. Because we're not making a sub with being 1-1. We're in a game that we could have won quite easily is to me a bit of a concern, and this is my grudge that I have with Stuart Maynard is we could go 1-0 down in the 29th minute and all game we still won't make a sub. So I just think he needs his head looking at.
I did say to you during the game, why have we made no subs? I don't understand it. I kind of understand it now, looking at it, that the players on the bench that could change the game wasn't match sharp or match fitness. With him playing last night, I did think we'd see a few more older players play. We didn't, we saw the kids. I ain't got a problem with it. I'm quite happy and impressed that we've managed to field a load of kids, because it wasn't long ago, a few years ago, there was no youngsters coming for it nuts. The funny fact last night is, for you wouldn't know this, but you know who Jermaine Pennant is?
Yeah.
Played for Arsenal.
His lad.
His nephew played for Leicester, came on. Jermaine Pennant came through the Nazis Academy that way. So it was quite nice. The commentator did say, oh look, another Pennant playing at Meadow Lane.
Yeah.
I know Jermaine didn't get many first game appearances for Notts, but it's nice. The name reminisces around Meadow Lane. So I do think playing not many first teamers last night, that we should get a full strength team. I think Ditsy not playing any games past 2. I think he'll probably start. Maybe Scott might get half hour.
I don't like where Maynard plays Scott in the first team when they're playing him on the wing. He is not a player for the wing.
No, Scott last night played up front.
Yeah, but previously, before he went off with his injury, he was being put on the wing.
I think that's because we had Macaulay at the time. And you couldn't really push Macaulay anywhere else.
I mean, look at the start of the season. We had Jatta, McGoldrick behind Jatta. Next to him, it was Kedwin Scott. And behind Kedwin Scott, in the middle, between Dizzy and Kedwin, was Crowley. And Crowley should be playing on the... Look at last season. Crowley and Jones. Unbelievable. Why are we splitting that up?
Yeah, I think Notts also suffered this season with Joe Jones breaking his leg, unfortunately. He's coming back to fitness. I think he'll be a massive, massive inclusion back into that team. He offers a lot down that right now. He plays that side, especially on that right hand side when he's left footed. He cuts back onto his left, and that offers him more of a chance at shooting at goal with the angle of that side. My front three would probably be Crowley, Scott, and Jota. That would probably be my front three, and using Jota as a target man, because we saw at the weekend Bass's distribution out long was incredible. Especially that goal kick he took with can't remember who the defender was. I think it was Platt. Slammed it on the floor and he ran from the advertising boards and just literally punted it square down to Jota.
Yeah.
I think using Jota as to knock it on to Scott. So I think Scott's a good player. I do think Scott's a good player. He broke his leg or his knee ligament last year.
Yeah, he couldn't really prove himself last season.
Unfortunately, he's had a mental health breakdown or whatever's happened in his personal life. So he's just coming back after being given some time off from the club, which I praise. The club has obviously seen something's wrong. He's spoken to the club and they've gone, look, take 3 or 4 weeks, go sort yourself out, take the time you need. There's no pressure. I don't think there's many clubs around that will do that. No. And I think it means a lot to him. I've seen him put on social media, but I think it's more to his character that he's mentioned it and he's brought it up. Because a lot of players won't even mention that they're struggling. No. They just carry on and play. Because as men, we don't talk. So, what do you think is going to happen at the weekend, Jack?
Well, here's an interesting fact just to start off. I went to Crewe away last season. I went the night before on a massive drinking sesh. people would turn around to you and go, why are you here? This is young lads my age, 21, 22. Why are you here? All in Notts County gear. We're going to watch Crewe. Crewe's got a football team. I don't know where they get the fans from because nobody in Crewe knew they had a football team, even though the stadium's right next to the train station. However, I do think we may end up losing our way undefeated. Just from watching last season, obviously being there and how there was last season, I just think we aren't good enough, especially with Jatta being out and key players like Jody being out. I just don't think we've got it in us to go ahead and win.
Here's a bit of a snippet for you. So I've been to Crewe before. Joe and I've mentioned to you, have you ever been buying a drink or you've missed a goal?
Yeah.
It was my turn to buy a round. So I went down and queued up. Good 10-minute queue. Not scored 2 goals. Only 2 goals of the game. 1-2-1. Got to the front of the queue to buy 4 pints of beer. Don't serve alcohol. Can you imagine how I felt not serving alcohol, having to go back into the stand after scoring 2 goals to turn around to the lads I was with and go, let's have a beer, mate.
You know what? Thinking about it, I can't remember having a drink in the stadium.
No, they don't serve beer. And here's another funny snippet for you. So you know Craig.
Yeah.
About 10 of us on the train, get off the train station, walk into the town centre, looking for the Wetherspoons. I think it's on the corner.
Yeah, it
If I
is.
can remember.
Where the traffic lights are.
Yeah, it's all glass front.
Yeah.
Walking down. Where's the spoons? Where's the spoons? Can't find it. Craig shouts, it's here, lads! It's like, sand. We look at it. It's a Waterstones bookshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had a few cans on the train.
Well, I got kicked off the train on the way there.
Oh.
I finished work on the Friday. Went to go meet up with my friend at the time. And we got a train from Derby to Crewe. Drove to his, got the train up, drinking heavily as a young lad going away from home does. And yeah, it was a full train. Everybody finished work. And Crewe is one of the main stations for changing trains to go into all parts of the country. And yeah, blabbermouth me ended up just taking the mick out of everybody and things like that, and people's accents, and got kicked off. And then on the way back on the Saturday, all the police usher you to the train station. So if you want to go get something to eat, you can't. You can't get food in the station. There was one train. It was, I think it was like 9:30 at night. The train before that meant you had to leave at time. And the train was only 4 carriages long. You imagine all them Notts fans. We got on that train. I actually have a video on my phone of an old man in front of me watching indecent images. I will say. Just on the train. And then everybody was steaming. Cans were being thrown. And there was 2 Wrexham fans on the train. And when I say they got hounded, and they pretty much got forced off the train. It's not right, people were throwing beer at them. I wasn't, because I don't waste beer, I drink it. But it's like full cans, and you're throwing them at Wrexham fans. They've done nothing wrong to us. We don't know them personally. The team, they can burn down for all I care, but we don't know the fans, and he could have been a decent bloke, but then also he could have been a dodgy bloke. But you throw your cans in a carriage full of your own fans, you're going to hit your own fans, aren't you? It's stupid.
So then, Jack's 5-game Aki. Right, last week, Jack, you told our lovely listeners to pick these 5 teams for your bet. You had Bournemouth, Brighton, Liverpool, Everton and Forest to win. For your £5, would have won them £990. Would you like to explain to the young ladies and gentlemen listening what happened to your 5-game Aki last week?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you. It was absolutely abysmal. I mean, I got Brighton right, which was unbelievable. Bournemouth, they was 2-1 up. Conceded very late. 2 late goals. Everton just couldn't succeed. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Forest, just Forest. It just shows that they don't deserve to be that high up in the league. And yeah, I got Brighton and Liverpool right, but they was expected. Liverpool was. Brighton was I would say the team there that was most unlikely to. But I think they're sitting 6th in the table.
I think so, yeah.
So they're quite up there, and yeah, they were doing well, and yeah, just don't back with me.
So that was 40% right then, Jack. Do you think that's a good average for you to aim for the rest of the season?
Well, it was better than 0%, and that's normally what I get. So yeah, I think that is very good.
No, your 0% is normally your bets winning altogether.
Oh, you're doing it that way?
Yeah.
Oh, so mine's 100% lost then most of the time.
Yeah. So, this game week is a bit difficult for you to pick your games. You've got international games this week to pick. Would you like to tell our lovely listeners what £5 bet you've put on for this weekend?
So, 4 out of 5 are what you would say expected teams. There's only one team in it that really bring up the odds massively. And so we're going to start with Portugal to beat Poland at home. That is
Ronaldo versus Lewandowski.
Ronaldo's not playing, is he, anymore in the international squad?
I thought he
did he? I thought he said he was retiring after the World Cup. But once again, he didn't win it, did he? So he spat his dummy out.
I'm sure he's been called up.
Spain to beat Denmark.
Okay.
Pretty just bog standard.
Yeah.
Croatia to beat Scotland away. Scotland aren't the best side.
Time.
Yeah.
They haven't won a game for a long, long time.
The Netherlands beat Hungary. I think the Netherlands...
Depends who's hungry in that game to win.
I'm hungry right now. It probably would have been me against 12 men. And then this one is... it's an iffy one. I want to say very iffy, because both teams are abysmal.
Very poor.
Yeah.
If I can guess what game you're going to pick, is one team, one nation, a sovereign state of the British Isles by any chance?
Yes, it is.
Oh, so I was right.
So Gibraltar are obviously playing San Marino away. Who do you think I've backed in that game?
Well, San Marino ended their long unbeaten run for years and years and years. I can't remember how many games it was. I think it was 80 odd, can't remember. Might not be that high, but we'll say. You've probably backed San Marino, I'd say, because I'm guessing Gibraltar's at home.
Gibraltar's away.
Oh, so you've backed the home team then?
I backed the home team.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Surprisingly, they're only 23-10.
Okay.
So they are pretty much almost favourites in that match.
So what's your odds for your 5 games then?
So for the 5 games, it's only 20-1. Well, it's 20.43 to be precise.
Right, okay.
That is with your boost on Ladbrokes. But remember, guys, over 18s and gamble responsibly, unlike me. £5 if you do have it boosted will return you £107.16. And if you don't want to boost it, your odds are 18-1, and that will return you £96.46.
So then, Jack, you got your player career path correct last week with Michael Owen.
Yeah.
So it's my turn to guess a player that you've picked. I'm not feeling hopeful because I know what you're like, and you'd have picked a player from the 12th division of Holland.
So this is quite easy. I'm thinking with my first time, I think I'm going to start off easy and get difficult as we go along. I mean, this player has been in the England squad for many years. He actually joined the England squad for the under-17s in 2011 and played until 2022 in the England squad.
Can I have a guess right now?
Go on.
Because if I get it right now, you'll cry.
What is it?
Theo Walcott.
Incorrect.
Oh.
So, in 2011, 2012, this player got the call up from Liverpool under-19s to play for the Liverpool squad. He played there from 2011 to 2015.
– 2011 to 2015 at Liverpool. Is that his first club?
That is his first club, correct. Which I actually didn't know it was his first club.
I want to say Sturridge, but I know Sturridge's first club wasn't Liverpool, it was Man City. Can I have the next club, please, mate?
The next club, obviously, from 2015 all the way up to recently. Well, I say recently, it's not that long ago. To 2022, he went to Man City.
Raheem Sterling.
Yes, correct. This is where I said it was going to be an easy one. He then left City and went to Chelsea. He's still technically there. He's just on loan at Arsenal. So, guys, sadly, that is the end of this second episode of the podcast. I would like to say a massive thank you for coming back. And if it is your first time here, go check the last episode out and subscribe, follow, whichever you do on these platforms. However, I would tell you the next episode name of the podcast for the next one to try and entice you in and leave you on a bit of cliffhanger. But we haven't got a clue because the results haven't come out yet. So thank you very much once again for listening. It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.